Will you be my friend? You're a nice person. I want you to be my friend. Will you be my friend? Come play with me. Mommy, this is my best friend. What's her name? I don't know. She's my best friend. Do you remember? You may not remember. If you didn't have kids, you may not remember those conversations that you had. But we all had them as kids, right? We walk up to somebody on the playground and we'd be like, will you be my friend? And then we hold hands and we skip off and, we're best friends for like, I don't know, 30 minutes while we're playing at the playground. And then you get into school and, you have friends in your classroom. And then at the end of the year, you get the class list for next year and you're like crying, no, Mommy, Barbie Lee isn't in my class next year. She has to be. She's my best friend. And then next year when Barbie Lee isn't in your class, you find a new best friend. These are situational friends, right? These are the friends that show up in our world because of what we're doing. So we kind of find another human and go, okay, I'll stick around with you for a while. And it's what we do as humans, right? We make friends. We have friends. We are friends. So hello world, this is Barbie Lee. I got mint in my chocolate shake. It's a good day. As always, Shake Talks. I've been doing this, my goodness gracious, 11 years. And my YouTube channel is getting an overhaul. So please go and check out my YouTube channel and see the crazy of all the years of me doing Shake Talks. So the topic today is, will you be my friend? This is such a hot topic right now. I was doing some looking and had a little conversation with ChatGPT and Gemini. I use both, right? ChatGPT and Gemini because they have different opinions. Different sources that they get, not opinions. They're not real people. They're AI. And it's all about, so I've been looking a lot about making friends. And there's a loneliness epidemic going on. Like you all know that, right? People are lonelier than they've ever been in history. Why? Because we use these devices so much and we're so disconnected. Even though we can be connected, we are so disconnected because there's a couple people watching me right now. I don't even know if they're going to say hi. Most people come onto the screen and just scroll. They don't actually engage. There's no actual back and forth. And I know I'm live and you can't really do a back and forth, but you could type and I could answer you, right? Anyhow, so I was looking really a lot into friendship and how do people become our friends, right? Sometimes we randomly meet people at an event and they take a picture and a video of you and they say, hey, can I send this to you? Let's be friends. I'm like, okay. And that's like, what, 18 years ago or so? Who knows, right? How do we make friends? And it's so funny. Yeah. Yay. Thank you. You're such an amazing and beautiful person too. So to make friends, number one, you have to be a friend. That's number one. If you cannot be, hola amiga, if you cannot be a friend, you can't make friends. Do you get that? Let's unpack that one for a second. So if you don't know who you are as a person and you're faking who you are and you're like, oh, I'm this over here and I'm this over here and I'm this over here, then no one really knows who you are and you don't get to really be a good friend because no one really knows what to expect of you. Does that make sense? So the first step of making friends is being a friend to yourself. Love yourself. That's a whole other Shake Talk. So it was so easy. So easy when we're kids. We get thrown into a classroom. We get thrown into Sunday school, whatever. And somebody becomes our quote unquote best friend. Then what happens? Well, we go off to university, maybe college, start a job. Well, then we have work friends, right? Yeah, I figured it was about 18 years. So, and actually, I think Barbara and you, we both met at some form through the center. I think that's how we met, Shelley, right? Through the center. But when we're kids, we have these situational things, right? Oh, Marion, yes. I know it isn't easy, right? You have, absolutely, and we're going to get to that topic for sure. So when we have school and work, we have these situational friends and we're thrown together. And when we're kids, it's easy and because, there's 30 of you in the class, but sometimes in work, there might only be 5 or 10 of you, or maybe there's only 2 of you and you're like, oh my God, this is the only person I work with. And so then we have to go out and find friends. And it's not easy, but it might be simple, but it's not easy. Because people are like, there's people everywhere. You just walk down the street, say hi to people. But it's more than that. The research, did you know the research says you have to invest 50 hours in a relationship to call it, quote unquote, a good friend? And I'm like, who counts? Like, who counted that? That's what I want to know. So we're in school, we make these friends, we're in college, university, maybe even our first job. But then we have kids, right? And I know the first 4 or 5 years the kids were little, we did nothing except tend to the kids. We barely saw our neighbors, our family for sure. But, there wasn't a lot. That's what I thought. Didn't you? And it was you that recorded me, right? When I was on stage. I'm pretty sure that's what happened. So when we're in this in-between years, right? So we're in between college, that first job, whatever. And, yes, I'm going to talk about that one too. Marian, you're all ahead of me. I love this. So we have that in-between time where we have those kids, if you've had kids, and they're young and you don't have really a lot of time for friends. You hope you find other mom friends and maybe you talk to them at the park or you go on a little play date, but not really, unless you have a friend from before, you have no time to make friends when your kids are little, just none whatsoever. And then when they go to school, then you're like, okay, I have a little free time, but you don't really, because now your kids are in school and you're working, if you're working, and you're running around, and then it just gets harder and harder and harder, and you're like, holy crap, you're 57, me, in a new country, living in a new city. I've lived in the country for 4 years, 5 years, almost 6 now, and I'm in a new city. I'm like, where do people hang out? Where do I meet friends? I don't drink, right? So I don't go, I don't go to the bars, so where am I supposed to meet friends? The struggle is real, and it's not just me living in a new country, in a new city. It could be me living in my old city. And, I am very blessed. I have some friends, I can actually call them friends, not just acquaintances. I call them friends. So if I'm having a day, I'm like, Barbara, I need a little something, something. She's like, what do you need? And I'll be like, whatever it is. Same thing. I can, I have probably about 4 or 5 in my world, but none of them live near me. So if I want to go for a quick walk on the beach or, I need a hug from my friend, it's different, So yes, there's clubs, there's recreation. So pickleball, we started playing pickleball. So we're making pickleball friends, but they're different because they're pickleball friends. When I lived in Mazatlan, after a couple of years of being there, I had our karaoke friends. We had our pickleball friends. I had my dancing friends. I had my music poker friends. And I had all these different friends. And each one of them had their place. My pickleball people rarely showed up at karaoke because they play pickleball. And my karaoke friends did not play pickleball. So they never showed up at pickleball. So, and then if I wanted to do something different, hang out, and then we had our cards and all that kind of stuff that we were doing. But then to do other things with them too, I'm going to read that in a second. And then when we had cards or something else, then we had cards friends. But to do something specific, we had to make a plan. And that takes a lot of work to coordinate. And some people just say, well, I'll see you next week at music poker, or I'll see you next week at karaoke, with no effort in between. So are those friends or acquaintances? I call anybody I know their name my friend, okay? So Marian, my entire family works from home. We have very intentionally made plans with friends. Intentional. That's the word I'm going for today. Intentional. We have to be intentional. We have to be intentional with our actions so that we make friends. We show up and we be friends. We be the person someone wants to be a friend with. And then that's how we make friends. So I'm going to explain to you my process that I used here in Playa. So we've been here. So we moved here mid-August. So September, October, November, December, January, February, March, April. So we're going on 8 months. Oh, it's almost 8 months actually that we've been here. And I've met some very nice people. Okay? Very nice people. We just started playing pickleball. So we say hi to our pickleball friends, right? We haven't done anything more than just play pickleball with them. We did see a few of them when we went out dancing Friday night, And, we said hi, and that was the extent of it. So there hasn't really been a friendship formed, okay? I started going to philosophy club. And from there, one of the ladies said, hey, do you want to go for a walk? And I'm like, yeah, let's go for a walk, because we just really connected in the group and we liked what each other said. And then from there, we planned walks. We met at philosophy club every week, and we'd go for walks. We were very intentional. Hey, do you want to go for lunch? Yes, let's go for lunch. Now I have a friend, right? And then she leaves. It's too hot here for her in the summer, right? That's okay. She'll be back. But that's what happens too when you live in a place like Mazatlan or Playa del Carmen, is there may not be full time, they may not live here. So you might have seasonal friends. So I have a lot of seasonal friends. So then pickleball, or at philosophy club the other night, there's a guy, and he's new, and he's been to Playa many times, for like over 15 years. And so he comes to the philosophy club, and I'm like, hey, I'm giving an AI for beginners class tomorrow night. You should come. He goes, I know nothing. I'm like, that's perfect. You should come. So he comes. And I was like, this is great. And then we're chit-chatting, and he sends me a text message after, and he's like, hey, that was so great. He goes, I just, I could use some private lessons kind of thing. Like, I work for lunch. And so we went for lunch yesterday, and now I have a new friend, Paul. Do you know what I mean? So there has to be some effort put in. There has to be something intentional about making friends. And it's hard, you guys. It's hard. Like, it's simple to say, oh yeah, there's millions of people, billions on this planet. We can be friends with all of them. But at the end of the day, it's hard. We've got our own life to do, right? I'm working. I am intentionally really building my Isogenics business right now. I want it to thrive. It's around connection. My entire Isogenics business is around building a community of people to connect, so that we have like-minded friends doing the same stuff, feeling amazing and making money, so they can travel and have the freedom to do what they want. So I am very intentional about whom I'm bringing into my team and whom I'm, giving extra time and attention to, because I really want to cultivate those friendships and create this community of people who are living this juicy and delicious and expansive life of love and connection. And here, I even have it on a card. I am creating an environment of love, expansion, and connection for myself and the world. This is my personal mantra. And I also have, I am a loving and passionate and abundant woman. But this is what I'm creating right now, right? Exactly. Notice the word connection in there. It's connection. We can't, I see people like, that's my friend. What's her name? I don't know. Is she really your friend? Right? Sometimes too, I'm going to speak from Mazatlan. So I was very visible in Mazatlan, right? Shelly, I have 5 true friends, but hundreds of requests, right? Perfect. And this is what I was going to say about Mazatlan. A lot of people knew who Dwayne and I were, because we ran music poker for 3 years, and people would come. We'd have 50 to 100 people every week, and different event venues. And so they knew who we were. And I was very visible in the Facebook groups and stuff like that. So they knew who we were. So a lot of people were friendly. But we didn't go out for meals. We didn't go dancing together. They showed up at music poker. We had fun. I knew their names, all that kind of stuff. They were my friends, right? But did we do more friendly stuff together? No. Does that mean they're not my friends? No, I think they're still my friends. I think we put a lot of pressure and a lot of I'm a superstar. Here's the thing. I love people, but sometimes we put a lot of pressure on our relationships. So I have a friend. We met. I can tell you the exact moment we met. We were standing in line at university at registration, University of Lethbridge, in August of 1990. And I'm laughing with this guy who we were talking about movies or something. And I said, oh my God. I said, you're not like my boyfriend, who was Dwayne at the time, right? Was my boyfriend. I was like, who likes that crazy movie? Because he mentioned something. I'm like, Big Trouble in Little China. He goes, oh, the blonde-haired girl or the green eyes or whatever he said. And I was like, oh my God, you're one of those. I said, seriously, how many blonde-haired girls and green eyes do you actually find? I got tapped on the shoulder. No shit of a lie, a chick with blonde hair and green eyes was behind me. We've been friends ever since. And her kids call me Auntie, so bye, sweetie, have a great day. So she's one of my friends that we don't have to talk for months, and yet we're still friends, right? And then I have friends where I talk to them once or twice a week, okay? Then I have like my husband, who's like my husband best friend, right? Not my girl best friend, he's my husband best friend. And I have my friend Barbara, who, I can call and chat with anytime, She's like, yeah, let's chat. And we chat. Or Christy, or Kim, or Jessica. Like, Jessica and I, we have a standing date to talk every Friday for 30 minutes. We have set it up that we speak, unless I forget and go play pickleball. But for 5 years since I left the country, it's intentional. We have to put the work in. So my question is, are you putting in the work? And there's that whole thing that says, well, I keep trying and they're not reciprocating. Give them some grace. Find out what's going on in their world and say, listen, I really would love to spend some time with you, and I know you're super busy, or I know there's things going on. Can I have 5 minutes? I just want to do a how are you check-in. Wouldn't that be sweet? Just 5 minutes. It doesn't have to be a whole lunch. It doesn't have to be a whole thing. It can be while you're, go on a voice call, go on speakerphone, and you're both, washing dishes, put on a video call, wash dishes. It doesn't matter. But if it's important to you, you will find the time to be friends. Now, tomorrow we'll talk about how to make friends, where to go, how to find them. Where do these people live? Well, next door, obviously. Unless you live on some farm in the middle of nowhere, you have people on both sides of you. And you might go, I don't like those people. Who knows? Maybe you do. Maybe you didn't give them a chance. I don't know. I've had crazy neighbors in my day. And I've had some really nice ones. Here, I have a group of youngins. They're like all in their 30s, late 20s, early 30s that live next door. The most we say is, hola, ¿qué tal? Because they're young and they have, and I have some Spanish and we chat a little bit, but not typically. Power goes out. I ask them if their power goes out, right? But the guys downstairs that work at the tiendas, love them. Every time I have a problem with my phone, like a delivery problem, I go down and I was like, help! And someone takes my phone and talks to the delivery guy, right? Having, being, and making friends is hard. It's not easy. So let's unpack it. Let's figure out how to make this happen so that we can have this connected, juicy, and delicious life. Like, isn't that what we want? Isn't that what we want? And if you're like, Barbie Lee, I need to hang out with you more. I want to be part of your Isogenics family and community of connectedness so we can make this world a better place, one friendship at a time. Let me know. I'm here for you. Oh, I can't wait. I love this topic. I'm going to be talking about it for a while because it's really hitting home with me. I've had many conversations come to me about making friends and being friends. So cheers, everybody. We will talk again very soon. And hey, thanks for being my Facebook friend.